Question 3 then of the 2014 GCSE History mock. Why was the Weimar Republic unpopular in the years 1919 to 1923? Now, this particular question is carrying 12 marks. For a 12-mark question, you are directed to write 3 PEA paragraphs, a brief introduction, and a conclusion. Ideally, your PEA paragraphs will be hierarchical from a most important to a least important reason, and you will, if possible, link together one paragraph to the next. PEA is the basic writing process that you have been taught since Year 7, and you should have read the question twice, planned the content of each of your 3 paragraphs before you put pen to paper, and for a 12-mark question, be trying to complete this within 12 to 15 minutes. So then, question 3. Why was the Weimar Republic unpopular in the years 1919 to 1923? So when we read this, why? We've got to come up with multi-causal reasons. 12-mark question, 3 of them. We've got to keep coming back to the reason why it was unpopular, and we can only discuss events relevant to 1919 to 1923. Anything that falls outside of these dates is not relevant. This question also comes with the prompts you may use. Instinctively, children switch their brains off and they only use the events that are identified. They only provide 2, and additionally it says you must also include information of your own. Failure to do that limits your progress through the mark scheme. When you use these bullet points, you do so knowing fully well that ideally you will not need any prompting at all because you know and have been taught the information anyway. Please be confident to stick to what you know. Please have the independence and freedom of thought not to do it in the order that they have provided. Reread the question, the analytical statement at the end of each paragraph, and this explains why the Weimar Republic was unpopular. Because. And everything that comes after the word because is your analysis. And we know from the previous question that your analysis needs to be developed in order to hit the highest level. Level 1, simple or generalized comments offered, supported by some knowledge. They signed the Treaty of Versailles. The Weimar Republic was unpopular because they signed the Treaty of Versailles. A point with hardly, well, if any evidence whatsoever. Level 2, statements developed with support from material which is mostly relevant. P and E, the evidence is there. So for example, the terms of the Treaty of Versailles or the account of the key events of 1923 is given. There is some evidence. That moves you into level 2. All you have to do is answer the question after your analysis, after your evidence, I beg your pardon, and you hit level 3. And this explains why the Weimar Republic was unpopular, because exactly how you have been drilled to write paragraphs since Year 7. You take the question and you identify the analytical statement that has to be written at the end. When that is done, you hit the 9 to 12 level. The answer shows understanding. That's because you're analyzing and you're doing what the question asks. You're not just remembering facts, you are using the evidence to answer the question. The candidate shows how specific events or issues created unpopularity. In other words, they answer the question and says, this made the Weimar Republic unpopular because. Which in class, if you calmly approach the question, is what you would do. Once again, what you talk in terms of evidence has to be relevant to the dates that are provided. A maximum of 10 marks for answers that do not explore aspects in addition to those which are prompted. In other words, if you only deal with what the bullet points provide you, you can score no more than 10. But the question clearly asks you to go beyond the 2 prompts that are provided.